What are some things I need to know about Lubbock before moving there? These are some questions that I get from clients all the time. Hey, I'm Sam Riddle, and today we're going to talk about some of the things that you should know before moving to Lubbock, Texas. Some of these things are talked about a lot. Some of them you may or may not know. So I just wanted you to get a local's opinion on things that you should know before moving it to the Lubbock, Texas area. And we're going to get after it right now. And this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living, sleeping, breathing, eating in Lubbock, Texas, well then be sure to tap that bell and hit that subscribe button so that you can be the first to know about all things living in Lubbock, Texas. I get calls, texts, emails every single day from people just like you looking to make their move to Lubbock, and I absolutely love it. So whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, schedule a Zoom call, send me a DM, whatever way means necessary for you and your family, and I'd love to meet you and help make a smooth transition into the Lubbock, Texas area. So as I mentioned, we're gonna talk about 6 different things on what you should know before moving to the great city of Lubbock, Texas. And like I said, also, is you may or may not have heard about some of these things. And it's not just gonna be your everyday, oh, we have low cost of living. Yes, we get that. We know that's probably why you're looking into Lubbock. Hey, it's an easy living community. Yes, we get that. But some of these things you may or may not know. So let's get started. A common thing that we hear a lot is our weather. So I wanted to talk about our weather that you might need to be made aware of before moving to the great city of Lubbock, because it is not like every other city in Texas. I say every other major city in Texas where it doesn't get any snow, we hardly get any rain, it's pretty hot, it never gets cold. That's just not Lubbock. Lubbock definitely gets all 4 seasons. We truly get a winter, fall, summer, and spring. But also too, we could get a winter, fall, summer, and spring all in one day. We have gotten snow, rain, hail, wind, sunshine, pretty much anything you name it all in one day. And that's not very uncommon for Lubbock, especially in the springtime. Our weather can be very, very bipolar in the spring. And it's usually between March to about May is usually kind of when it gets pretty much spring in Lubbock. Kind of honestly, it's just very bipolar. We get really, really windy days in the springtime too. And so if you don't know what a haboob is, well, you're about to. A haboob is a really large dust storm that hits Lubbock. You can kind of see it on the horizon. If you look out, you see it rolling in. It could be a beautiful bluebird day and you just see that haboob rolling in just because Lubbock is very flat. So you can see for miles and miles. So you see this big dust storm coming in, and at some points in time, I mean, you don't want to drive out in that haboob because the wind is so harsh. You get dust in your teeth, dust in your hair. I mean, you get dust in places that you can't even imagine finding dust in, especially in your car. So honestly, don't go out in haboobs. It is dark. It gets really, really dark. It gets kind of just a reddish brown color everywhere. And then afterwards, it'll be a beautiful day, and then you'll have dust, red dust everywhere. So not to deter you or anything, but I just wanted to talk about a haboob, what it looks like, what it does, because you can't just get here and expect not and be surprised by a haboob, because you don't want to be stuck out in the city driving around that whenever there is a haboob. There's stuff all in the streets, paint cans, boxes, tires, mattresses, you name it. There's stuff everywhere. So it's kind of like a mini tornado, but there's not actually any tornado. So just wanted to talk about that for our weather. And then also too, just kind of some things that people may or may not know is we do get snow here in Lubbock. Our snow period is usually around November to February. We have gotten snow in March or October before, but generally speaking, we'll have snow between November to February. So you can expect a few snowstorms a year. Now, it is not as uncommon for us to get snow like it is for Austin and Houston and Dallas. They shut down the whole city, and especially if there's ice on the road and it's snowing. We're in Lubbock, stuff doesn't get shut down if there's snow. We just adapt to it. We just kind of like Colorado. We know what's happening. We know a snowstorm is coming, and we just live with it. So expect some snow, also some rain. Rain usually between May to June is kind of our rainiest season. However, I mean, we just got rain here the other day and we're in September. So you just never know. It has been we've been blessed with some rain recently, which has been awesome. Again, there's some years that we just don't get very many rainstorms. And so, that does happen. There's some winters or some springs or years that we get more rain than others. So that kind of differs. There used to not be a ton of rain in the Lubbock area. We're seeing a little bit more and more with rain. However, too, you can expect really, really hot days. This year, I think we had a total of 36 over 100 degree days, which I know this was a very hot year in 2023 for everybody. But, that's kind of going to be, our summers are hot. And we don't have the humidity here in Lubbock, so it's a very dry heat. It's a very dry cold whenever it gets cold. We don't have that moisture in the air. And then our spring is usually around March to May. It really doesn't start getting hot, like upper 90s till about June. So really June, July, and August are gonna be our hottest months, kind of similar to a lot of other cities in Texas, but June, July, and August are really gonna be our hottest months. We really won't start reaching 100 temperatures until then. But even in May, I mean, it's still very beautiful in May. It's a beautiful time of the year, and flowers. Texas Tech plants their red tulips. So anyway, wanted to talk about the weather. I know I get a lot of questions about, does it snow? Does it rain? What is the weather like? So I hope that you have a little bit more knowledge about our weather, so that way you're not as unprepared for the snowstorms. Get a snow shovel for your car. It really does help. You really will need it. You really will use it. Don't go spend a ton of money on it. But anyway, yeah, so that is our weather. So let's go on to our number two. Number two, the second thing that you need to know is we have little traffic. Believe it or not, we don't necessarily spend a whole lot of time in our cars commuting to work or to the grocery store every single day. Rule of thumb is they used to say it took 15 minutes to get anywhere you needed to be in and around Lubbock. I'd probably say it'd be more about 20 minutes now, just because of the population growth. But you can pretty much get from one side of Lubbock to the other in about 20 minutes. Also, something that many people may or may not know is it is very, very easy to navigate. And so it'll be really hard for you to get lost. And the reason I say that is because all of the streets that run, north to south are alphabetical. And then all of the streets that run east to west are numerical. So literally, the more south you go, the higher number you're going to get. 115, 130, that's gonna be more south. And then the higher you go in the alphabet, so if you're on M, the more west you're going to be. So like Milwaukee is where we're at, and then Milwaukee is more west Lubbock. So very easy to navigate. You really can't get lost. And also too, our loop will just take you around and around in a big circle. Don't get off of it, then you won't get lost. And there's really nowhere else for you to go. So little traffic and easy to navigate. Number three is we are actually voted to have the nicest people that live here in Lubbock. A lot of people talk about how friendly the people that live in Lubbock are, and it is true, and I think a lot of people are like, oh, our city, we have tons of great people, tons of nice people. Well, we really do have a ton of great people here in Lubbock, and I know I've kind of mentioned this before, but I wanted to bring it back up because if you ask any local, hey, what's the one thing that you want to tell people about Lubbock? 9 times out of 10, that person is going to say the people. Why do you love Lubbock? The people. Why do you stay in Lubbock? The people. Everybody talks about the people. So if you're looking for a tight-knit community, a very family-friendly community, Lubbock is a great place for you and your family. The fourth thing that you should know before moving here is how great our healthcare system is. We have a phenomenal healthcare system. One of our hospitals here, we have UMC and Covenant. Both are really, really well ranked. Covenant is actually voted one of the best hospitals, or the best hospital in the Panhandle and Plains region, which is pretty awesome. Then also too is we are the largest healthcare, this region's largest healthcare system, offering the most complex healthcare systems from Dallas to Phoenix. And that's a pretty large range. We have a huge medical center here that people don't really realize. And I don't know, maybe it's because they think that Austin or Houston might have a bigger medical system. But for the Plains and West Texas Panhandle area, like I've said, all the way from Dallas to Phoenix. We're the largest healthcare provider in and around this area. Also, too, our hospitals are ranked in the top 20 in the best hospitals in the state of Texas from 2022 to 2023, which is a huge deal. In the top 20 out of all the hospitals in Texas, I mean, that's awesome for our healthcare system. Also, with us servicing such a large amount of people, we service about 1.2 million people. And our Texas Tech Health Science Center, or TTU-HSC, which is located at Texas Tech University. So if you are enrolled in or if you want to study medical, that's going to be the college that you are enrolled in. But they are consistently ranked as the top, or in the top 120 medical or programs for health science in the country. So they are consistently ranked 120 or better in the country, which is pretty awesome. I mean, in the entire country, I know that don't know the number of how many health science centers or colleges offer that, but to be in the top 120 is a pretty big deal. And I know a lot of people that come out of it absolutely love it. They find jobs here in Lubbock. They love working at the hospitals here in Lubbock, at Covenant or UMC. Most of them stick around and stay here in Lubbock and then move on, few years later. But I think that it is, a lot of people love that come out of it. They love that they enrolled in the TTU-HSC program. We also have a large variety of specialized doctors here in the Lubbock area. So GI doctors, foot doctors, I know there's a really special name for that I'm blanking on. Heart doctors. I mean, there's a ton of specialized doctors here in the Lubbock area. And I think a lot of older couples like to move here because they want to be closer to the hospitals, especially in New Mexico, where there's not nearly as great of a healthcare system as they can find here in Lubbock. Or if you live in a smaller town around Lubbock, if you want to be a little bit closer to the hospitals. And a lot of people are liking to move to the Lubbock area because, like I said, if you live on the south side of town, you're anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes from the main hospitals and all of the specialized doctors in that area as well. Or if you want to live in central Lubbock or north Lubbock, you're going to be anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes away from the hospital. So you're going to be fairly close, really, wherever you're at. I mean, it beats 30, 45, an hour, 2-hour drive that a lot of people do make that I've heard, only come in town for doctor's appointments, where we're seeing a lot more people wanting to move here just to be closer to our medical field. Number 5, something that you should know about Lubbock, and I've kind of talked about this before, but we are voted one of the best places to start a business. So if you are looking to get into a new business, you want to start your own business, well, Lubbock would be a great opportunity for you. I know that we also offer the largest per capita of restaurants in a city, even larger than that of Dallas, Austin, and Houston. So that means we have a ton of restaurants. We have a ton of restaurants per capita. And I just think that's awesome. There's never a lack of places to eat or to go out and have a drink or to get a good coffee. There's tons of new businesses constantly opening. There's a report that goes out every single month of new businesses that are opening, and we're getting some pretty awesome people. It's pretty awesome big name people as well too, but also a ton of local businesses are opening. We're starting to see lots of fresh ideas that we see in those very heavily populated areas like the metroplexes. We're starting to see more ideas like that come to Lubbock, like healthier eatings, more salad options, just more healthier living options, more workouts, so I think that's a really cool thing to be happening to Lubbock, and I'm glad that we're seeing a lot more of that as well. Also, in a 2023 study, there was a study that was done that said that Lubbock, out of all the cities in the US, was actually voted number 1 best place to live after college graduation, which is pretty cool. This was just a study that I found that some people we were talking about that just says, hey, based off of the living factors, the affordability of homes, the price of living, your average annual salary for college students, it's just voted the best place to live after graduation, which also goes back to helping businesses start. And you can hire college graduates that can come and help you. Also, too, if you're looking for part-time employees, we have over 50,000 college students in this town. You can find a college student to work part-time at your business as well. So that also helps, keep costs a little bit lower. Your, costs are going to be a little bit lower there. And then, just lower utility costs overall. Your rent's going to be a little bit lower as well. I mean, it's not going to be skyrocketed like it would be in one of the metroplexes. So you just have a lot of factors going for you that can help boost your business. And last but not least, something that you should know about Lubbock, is that it is not a standstill town. We are growing, and I've talked about this before. We know that Lubbock is expanding, residential wise, we get that. However, too, it is also just booming with commercialization as well. And so we don't ride our horses to school or to work, it's a city. It is a developing city. We are not some country bumpkin town on the map. Of course, if you want to live in the country and be 20 minutes from Lubbock, that can happen. I've talked about that on my last couple of videos. We can find you some acreages. We can find you a home if you want horses and stuff. By all means, love me a horse. But we don't see them just casually hanging out in the city. We are very urbanized, and we don't see that. So just something to think about is we are growing, which is awesome. By 2025, our population is projected to be 275,000. And then by 2050, we're supposed to be at 500,000, which is insane. Right now, I get it. I love me some farmland. I love being out in the country. I love being able to drive out there, see the beautiful sunsets of West Texas, which I probably should add sunsets. Amazing. Absolutely stunning in West Texas. I think they're the most beautiful sunsets you're ever going to see. Sunsets and sunrises. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. God is magical here. But anyway, yeah. So we're growing. It's a growing town. 250,000 people. I mean, 500,000 by 2050 is insane. So those are the top 6 things that you should know about Lubbock that you may or may not have known already, that are not just your average, hey, Lubbock is a cheap place to live. We know that. But what are some other things about the actual Lubbock city that you may want to know before moving here? So if you have any questions or you have anything to add that you've been here, then I'd love to know what you think about this town. Positive things only, of course. And also always, if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that bell and tap that subscribe button so that you can be the first to know about all things living in Lubbock, Texas. And until next time, we'll see you around.